Hey everyone, it's Bree. I'm back with another scrapbook process video for the Hip Kit Club design team. And today is Mixed Media Monday. So I am going to be working with a lot of mixed media today. And my assignment was to show y'all a blending technique. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking this Pink Fresh Studio stamp that came in the September 2020 stamp kit, and I'm also using all of the September 2020 kits as well. So I'm taking the stamp and I've stamped it with some VersaFine, is it VersaFine? No, it's not. It's Versamark. Sorry, Versamark ink, embossing ink. And I have got this Ranger embossing powder in copper. And what I've done is I've stamped it and then I've added the powder on top. I did use my powder tool at first to help eliminate some of the static. However, I did get some residue from the powder when I poured it down, so I'm just flicking those away or brushing those away using a dry paintbrush. I'm going to clean up, and of course, like I always do, I always spill embossing powder everywhere, so I'm just going to clean that up real quick and get everything ready. So I have prepped a piece of thick white cardstock with some gesso. You don't have to do this. I just prefer to do that when I add distress oxide inks or blending, because I did plan on adding extra liquid on top. I didn't really want everything to soak in. And to me, I like to blend with gesso on the bottom. Okay, so I'm trying to show y'all at an angle where you can see where the magic happens, where the embossing powder melts from the heat tool and creates this beautiful shiny coppery color. So I kind of achieved that in certain spots depending on how I hold the paper. But the fact was I was filming at night and I didn't really have some sunlight. So I'm just relying on my studio lights. So you can see it there, how it sparkles and how it's dark. But then when I put the heat on it, it melts and becomes absolutely beautiful and raised and has this awesome texture. So now I've got that all down and I'm going to go ahead and start on my blending. Now I have got some distress oxides that match the colors in the collection. I'm mainly going to be using a lot of Pink Fresh Studio elements, but and I am going to pull in some crepe paper as well as I think some Jen Hadfield, I believe. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm starting off by dabbing my ink blending tool into the oxide inks and then pouncing it on my glass mat once so that I don't get a harsh circle from my blending tool. Now I I prefer to use these blending tools. I know there's awesome brushes out there that are new and that are fantastic. I just like to hold I just like the feel of these tools, and they help with my hands. So I do have a piece of Post-it tape on my left hand on my fingers in case my fingertips happen to touch. I don't want to get ink all over my page. That's not required or necessary. You can also put some washi tape or anything. I just like to cover up my fingers because I do get messy and I don't want to get fingerprints around my beautiful white cardstock. So all I'm doing is I am blending on the colors and switching and alternating between all of my tools and the colors when I add another color in. So I added the shabby shutters here, and then I'll pull, the peeled paint back in, or I'll get the Stormy Sky, which is the blue, and kind of help blend everything together so it's more seamless and natural. And I'll just keep blending it out. Now I do have this sped up quite a bit because it did take me some time, because I do like to get it perfect. And when I did add the embossing powder and ink and melted it, it creates this resist, which is awesome. So you can see my little oopsie there. I had accidentally put my blue ink pad or my ink blending tool into the green, and you could totally see it. So because of the gesso and because of I'm able to blend the color out, I was able to fix it, and you can't even see it. So so that is my blending right there. And I thought I would add even more to it by pulling the color kit from this month and adding some splatters from the Lindy's Magical Powders. So I mixed the blue color, which is a Well Watch Blue, with the pink, which is a Ramblin' Rose Pink, to create a purple, because that helps pull in a lot of the purples from the Pink Fresh Studios Days of Splendor collection. Now, since I'm adding liquid on top of an oxide ink, it has that oxidation process. So if you add liquid, let it sit, and then pick it up with a paper towel, it'll show the oxidation, which is awesome because it adds even more texture and interest to your background. So I did that with the yellow, which was, or not yellow, I'm sorry, the clam bake beige, which is kind of that yellow color. And what is awesome about these magical powders is they have um, like different colors inside, so they're magical. So they have like hints of red or hints of pink in the blues. They're just so fun and they're sparkly. So I thought incorporating those onto this background would be fun, and I love how it turned out. So here is a look at the background, a look at that gorgeous copper embossing powder on top of my stamp, and the background with the blending. And you can see, I mean, you could see some of those gesso harsh lines, but I kind of like that, to be honest. It just adds even more to my background. But like I said, when you do ink blending, you don't have to add the gesso. This cardstock is already smooth and has kind of like a, well, like a smooth surface, so blending is not that hard, but it will, it may take a little bit of work when you're blending the colors. Just keep going in a circular motion. Start off light and then kind of work your way up to the shades that you want, and go back and forth. So if you're adding the blue and then you add like a pink, the lines from the two, when the colors meet, are, you are going to see like, the division. So just go back and take one of your blending tools that you used in the same color, and blend them together and really work at it. And I think you'll really, really like the end result. I love working with oxides. I also love working with the regular distress inks. They're just so much fun. The possibilities of creating a background are endless, and it's kind of fun to also see how the colors match and which ones, really complement each other. And, just the combinations are fun to, experiment with. All right, so I took one of the crepe paper marigold papers that you see on the left. It's like that mustard with the polka dots. I ripped that in half, not in half, but I ripped a piece off of it and adhered it to the left side of the paper just to create something, a place for some more embellishments and to kind of work with my design that I had. I didn't want to cover up a lot of that embossing that I did, but I wanted to build up on top of it, but I didn't want to cover too much. So what I did was I took the specialty paper, which is the Copper Foil on Vellum by Amy Tangerine from her Late Afternoon collection. That specialty paper comes in the paper kit. And I fussy cut a few leaves and then a floral piece. And what's funny is, in the beginning, I had chosen the copper embossing powder first. Like, I totally forgot that we had that specialty paper until I was going through everything. I was like, oh my gosh, this is copper foiling. This matches my background. And so I'm so happy that they ended up working. And I almost chose black embossing powder, to be honest, because I wanted that, the embossing to stand out. But then I saw my copper one and I thought, oh, this is, totally plays into fall. And I love how everything turned out. So all I'm doing is I'm building, just around my photo of my son, Noah. I had taken this back in 2010, I think, when we first moved to Louisiana the first time, and I'm just building off of it. I've pulled the stitched elements from the Days of Splendor collection by Pink Fresh Studio. I've got some ephemera. I've got those beautiful wood veneer pieces by Jen Hadfield from the Avenue collection. I am just layering things up, popping things up on some foam, and, just tucking and doing what I love to do. Just creating little clusters. I love, tucking in and, pulling up leaves. It's just creates a lot of texture and is fun. So for my title, I used one of the stickers from that Marigold 4-page. No, wait, I don't think it has 4 pages. I think it has more. Either way, it's the sticker book from the Marigold collection. And anytime I have clear stickers, I do like to put clear stickers down onto my cardstock. But then if I want things to pop off the page more, I'll pop it on some white cardstock and fussy cut around it. And what's great about doing that is when you do stick the sticker down on the cardstock, it creates a little guide for your scissors, which is fun. And so when you fussy cut, you just use that little guide and it works out perfect. So my title is Thankful for You. I added the mini alphabet stickers from Pink Fresh Studio to complete my title. I added, those 2 little birdhouses from the Jen Hadfield stickers. And then I wanted to incorporate this really cute puffy squirrel. And I will here in just a minute. But I add a little goose. And then I have a little squirrel by the birdhouses, which also came from that clear sticker book. I popped him up on some cardstock and fussy cut him out. While I was rambling, I added some pink and white twine to that little stitched element tag. I'm adding some white acrylic paint splatters just to finish it off. I just love the look of white paint splatters. And I think that finishes up my layout. I love how this turned out. I hope I've inspired you to try blending with your Distress Oxide inks or any kind of ink pad. Maybe try it out, or your Distress inks. Thank you so much for joining me today. And here is a final photo of my layout. I have some close-ups coming up, so I hope you'll stay along so you can see all of the layer. You can see the embossing. You can see the blending, that oxidation right there. It's so fun and so pretty. These kits are amazing and just jam-packed full of beautiful elements. So thanks so much for joining me. I'll have everything linked in the description box below, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.